Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Sector 5. I'm your host, as always, Cody the Hangman Heinzman. And as you can see, I am joined once again by Jeremy. And given that yesterday we did predictions for the Chamber, I can only assume you all know what this video is going to be about. We watched the Elimination Chamber, so we are going to give our recap, review, thoughts on the pay-per-view. And you think it took me a while to make another prediction video? I actually looked back, and the last time I did a review video for a pay-per-view was Money in the Bank 2020. So, I had to look back at how I usually do this. So, we'll be going down the order that we talked about them, in the predictions, just for consistency, not in order that they happened. So we'll go ahead and get started with the kickoff match, which of course happened on the kickoff show. Kabuki Warriors defended their titles against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Any particular thoughts with that?
Not really. For me, it was just another run-of-the-mill tag match. Nothing to write home about. Nothing spectacular happened. Of course, it was a kickoff show match, so it's kind of to be expected. I didn't figure that the title was going to change hands. But I mean, it was an all right match.
And Bayley nor Io Sky were anywhere around for that, so our predictions were Bayley could have potentially cost them. Did not come through or anything, but
nope, wasted opportunity.
And I know you missed a little bit of it because we kind of skimmed towards the beginning of it. I feel like Indy Hartwell had a lot of botches, in my opinion.
No. She's a little newer, right? Like recent, like last, like 3 years, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really notice anything in particular. So if there were botches, they were small. Not really. Didn't really notice anything.
Okay. So, end result with that, Kabuki Warriors did retain the titles, and we will be moving forward now to the other tag team matchup that happened actually on the show. Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest defending their titles against Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. The New Catch Republic.
Whatever that means. Whatever the hell that's supposed to mean.
Name aside, that match was actually a banger, like I kind of predicted it was going to be.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good match, and I'm not a big person for tag matches, but that was pretty decent.
If it was not WrestleMania time, I would fully be convinced that Judgment Day was going to drop the titles to New Catch Republic.
Yeah, if it was like a SummerSlam or something, another big show, I could see them picking them up, and maybe in the future, maybe they'll get a rematch at WrestleMania.
But Judgment Day did retain, but the match did not disappoint. It was not something that Pete Dunne or Tyler Bate should be ashamed of. They put on a good performance.
Absolutely.
So the next matchup that we talked about in the prediction was actually the main event. Rhea Ripley defending her title against Nia Jax. And confession about this matchup, I had to watch that one just now. The reason we had to do the review a little bit late was Jeremy had other obligations for today, so we had to meet up later, and get caught up on it. I watched it all when it happened, but I thought the Elimination Chamber match was the main event and went to bed and was like, oh, I did not watch this match. So I just watched it, and it was interesting.
They definitely portrayed Rhea Ripley as a face. She came out, the crowd's into her. She's kind of pandering to the crowd a little bit. And then the match starts. There was a lot of heat being worked on Rhea Ripley, which is a very face thing to have happen. Like when the heel is working the heat on the face, that's where it kind of gets. How do I think about this? How do I word this? It's kind of like part of the 5 stages of a match, which I'm not going to go into. But usually when the match, you have your heel that works the heat on the face, and Rhea Ripley got a lot of that in that match.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty much one-sided beat down up until the end. She basically John Cena'd the match.
Yeah.
Superpowers and whatnot. Super Cena. But my thoughts on the match, though, I thought it was an okay match. Mm-hmm. It was definitely like the hometown hero. Gets the crap kicked out of her and then comes back in the end and wins the match, and makes everybody proud. Which with Australia being her home country, it was almost to be expected.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I didn't figure that she was going to lose. Also, with WrestleMania right around the corner,
mm-hmm.
It's just too predictable. So the match, I didn't get too excited for it because I kind of knew the outcome. If I know the outcome of a match, I'm not going to get super hyped.
Which is kind of what I was alluding to at the end of the predictions there. They're telling too much story, mm-hmm. not leaving enough to the imagination.
Well, that's the problem with shows like that, like Elimination Chamber, like the minor PLEs before WrestleMania. Those titles aren't changing hands except for like very rare situations.
Mm-hmm.
So getting excited about the show, it's just not really. The only thing that you could possibly get excited for in that would be the Elimination Chambers, because there is still a little leeway there,
right,
as to who's going to do what. But as far as like title matches go at shows like that, it's a foregone conclusion pretty much. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen. Like even mid-card titles.
Wait.
Which neither mid-card title was defended.
Well, I mean, Gunther has a reason for why he can't defend his, of course.
Yeah, he has his visa doesn't allow him to leave because he can't leave the country for so many months or whatever. He has to stay in the U.S. because from what I understand, he's trying to obtain U.S. citizenship.
Yes.
So when you have the visa, it requires you not to leave the country for X amount of time. So that's why we did not see Gunther on the show.
And probably why we had an Intercontinental Championship match at Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm. Which I feel like I still want to see Jey Uso win the title at WrestleMania.
Well, I don't think that's happening. Because it's definitely working Jey versus Jimmy.
Yeah.
But enough about WrestleMania. We're still talking about Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. All roads lead to WrestleMania.
All roads lead to WrestleMania.
Remember that.
Which brings us to our women's chamber match. And I have it all here. So, starting us off, we had Becky Lynch and Naomi starting us off. So, I was not right on who I thought was going to start us. And Tiffany came out number 3. Then you had Liv, then Raquel, and Bianca Belair. And the first person eliminated was actually Naomi. So that's a strike 2 for me. But it was a really good showing through the matchup, I think.
Yeah, I enjoyed the women's chamber match. The only thing I questioned is why Tiffany Stratton, a heel, was doing a big move off the top of the pod.
Right.
And then immediately getting eliminated afterwards. That didn't really make sense to me. Heels aren't really. I'm not gonna say not supposed to because it's wrestling, but like a heel doing a big move off the top like that isn't something that you commonly see. There's usually a face doing that, someone that the crowd is behind, unless high flying is her thing, which she doesn't look like the superstar that does that. But I don't watch NXT, so. And I know she just got called up to the main roster, right?
I know they mentioned in the chamber she has a gymnast background, so that might play into it.
Could play into it, but normally you want to save those kind of spots for face superstars. And then it was weird because after she got eliminated, they were booing
Liv Morgan.
And this is like, yeah.
Australia definitely was like a Twilight Zone. I think multiverse is what I'm trying to think of.
Multiverse, yeah, like a multiverse theory, like
where the faces are heels and heels are faces. Ultimately, in the end, Becky Lynch did pick up the win. It was surprising to have her as one of the first 2 starting, I feel. I didn't expect her to come out last, but maybe number 4.
I don't know. Chamber number, it's not like the Rumble. So it doesn't really matter where you come in. And obviously, if they want you to put on a great showing, they'll have you come out number 1.
Right.
Just like they'll have you start the match in Elimination Chamber matches.
Which also was surprising, even though this is only like the 6th chamber match, hearing that Becky Lynch has not been in a chamber.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising because being one of the 4 horsewomen.
And see, I was thinking, I thought I seen Becky Lynch in the chamber, but I was realizing I was mixing that up with Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah, she's definitely competed.
Yeah, she's been in the Hell in a Cell. I think all 4 horsewomen were in that Hell in a Cell match, potentially.
Bailey? Wait,
I don't know if Bailey. Yeah, Bailey was one of the 4 horsewomen, but I don't know if Bailey was in that.
No, I don't think she's ever been in a Hell in a Cell. I don't know. Super recent wrestling history, I'm not too, like... I don't know if it's because I've lost interest to remember. But, like, I'm more... Like, if you ask me something that happened in, like, the mid-2000s, I'm a little more inclined to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And here recently, it's just like, whatever.
Right.
Now let's move on.
But I think the ending spot was...
There is a cat.
There is a cat. But the ending, it was a good ending. That's what I'm trying to say. Becky Lynch hitting them rock bottom, as you say, manhandle slam on Liv. After Liv rolls up Bianca.
It was a very quick finish.
Yeah, quick.
Once it got down to the last 3, that finished spot.
Mm-hmm. So even though it was Becky Lynch and Liv as the final 2, that really didn't play in anything because it was like that. It was like there wasn't a final 2.
Yeah, once that third person. Once Bianca got
eliminated,
outed, and then it was just immediate.
Yep.
Liv gets pinned.
But she put a good showing in too.
Yeah. No, they all did. Did. I feel like a lot of good spots in that match.
I was surprised to see Naomi as the first person out. I don't know if I said that or not, but
I feel like if it wasn't going to be her, it was probably going to be Tiffany Stratton.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Tiffany's newer.
And that's what I was kind of hedging my bets on with that. Was Tiffany the one that pinned her?
Pinned Naomi? Yeah.
Maybe they're working Naomi versus Tiffany at WrestleMania.
Possibility. Yeah, because Tiffany did that sarcastic sorry.
Yeah.
After she got eliminated.
All right. That leads us to our, well, not main event. What I thought was going to be the main event was not main event, but it's the last match that we have to talk about. The men's chamber match. And let's just say right now, I am so proud of myself. If I would have just said one thing different, I would have had a perfect score for the chamber match. I got a 95 in my opinion.
No one's ever going to top my prediction score for, what was it,
SummerSlam
2021?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Never going to happen.
But I said that I thought LA Knight and Randy Orton was going to be the first people in the match. I was halfway right. LA Knight and Drew McIntyre were the ones that actually started us off. I said the first person that was going to be eliminated was Bobby Lashley. That happened. I predicted that something was going to happen with the pod with Logan Paul and that. That happened. I'm surprised he was number 6 in all reality, but that did happen. And then to go down the order of how they came out, you started off with LA Knight and Drew. Then you had Kevin Nash, Bobby Lashley. Kevin Nash, yes. I just put Kevin. Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, and Logan Paul. And it all came down to Drew McIntyre versus the Viper Randy Orton. Now, the question is, and I feel like I know what your answer is going to be, but a lot of people are probably going to be thinking the same thing. Is Randy Orton injured? Or is he just putting on a show?
I think they're working something. I think it's a work. He very well may be hurting. He may still have, because like back injuries are very serious.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be injured, but I feel like it's a work. I could be wrong, but I mean HBK when he came back in 2002, he always played the back.
Mm.
Like anytime something happened major, you could see him holding his back. He very well, and he probably did feel it, but I feel like it was also kind of like story-wise, it made sense,
right?
Like to sell your injuries, your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm. I think it's maybe 90% sell, but I am going to say it's probably that 10% that he actually landed wrong when he started the match and did, the vintage Orton to the padding on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think something was aggravated. But we'll just have to see if more news comes out.
Yeah.
Especially with the ending with Logan Paul hitting the Viper with the brass knucks. That's leading to something.
Oh yeah, for sure. That could be a potential Randy Orton, Logan Paul U.S. title, WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. which is could we potentially? I feel like Kevin Owens is still going to be in this U.S. picture. So are we going to have like a triple threat, a fatal 4-way?
You could have a triple threat. We could very well have a fatal 4-way. Who would that other person be?
I don't know. I'd say it had to be somebody has beef with like Kevin Owens or the Viper Randy Orton.
Well, I know Grayson Waller and Austin Theory have been hanging out with him, so hanging out with Logan Paul. So I don't know, maybe something. But I feel like now, after the events of the Grayson Waller effect, that could be Austin Theory and Grayson Waller.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we'll either have them face off against each other, or we'll have some kind of Grayson Waller effect at WrestleMania where Grayson Waller turns on Theory.
You think it could be a face turn for Waller?
Maybe.
Just kind of like, because he let Seth Rollins hit that curb stomp. Yeah, go ahead. And then afterwards, they started throwing the stuff out, and then Waller grabbed the one plant and was like, wait, and it just kind of was like, not this one.
he very much pulled a Dean Ambrose, the Lunatic Asylum or whatever his show was called.
Something like that, yeah.
But all in all, I think everyone in the men's match did put up a good showing. I mean, it was a good match. But who isn't thinking that it's going to be a good match, I guess?
I don't know. After the U.S. title match with John Cena and Austin Theory, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to either of them. So
Right. I'm just talking about the chamber match. I'm going back to that.
Oh, we're on the. I thought you were talking about like the main event, or not main event, but like the match with potential match with.
Potential match. No, I'm talking about the chamber match.
Out of all the things that I said, I think I only got two things right. We had.
I think you agreed with me that Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton was going to be the last two.
And then I said Drew McIntyre.
And you said Drew McIntyre was going to win.
Which happened.
Which, yeah, that was the end result at the end. And Drew McIntyre picked up the win.
I could see that coming from a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was a good match. There were some good spots in there. I liked Logan Paul's about to pull out the knucks, and he's getting hyped for him, and then boom, RKO out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Reason. Gotta love Pat McAfee.
But I don't know if there's anything else I have to say about the show. I don't know if there's any final thoughts that you might have.
It was a good show. It wasn't really anything spectacular. I think they tried to make it out to be like a pre-WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
You had the fireworks and all that. So, like, I don't know. It's a decent show. But I think WrestleMania is kind of overshadowing it.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, the show was okay. All in all, I'd give it like an average.
I would say probably match of the night would be the tag title match.
Yeah, I can give it that.
So that has been our little recap of Elimination Chamber. I did say we would have another video. I'm glad another video is coming out sooner than 3-4 years.
Right.
And we will be back for WrestleMania.
Reason.
So, as always, I have been Cody the Hangman Heinzman. Thank you once again, Jeremy, for joining me. And as always, that's just how it is.
Peace.